When I started this build, I had no idea that a major storm was brewing out in the North Sea. If you want to know how bad it became, this is me walking down the driveway on our farm. Our stories start at the end of the summer with some tranquil sheep that are living the dream on a small farm on the western side of Norway. As they are happily munching on the green grass, days with snow, heavy rain showers and high winds are far from their mind. As our barn looks like this, the sheep have used an alternative shelter for all the years we have had them. The pig house has been unused for the past 7 years, and so that has been a perfect little emergency shelter for our sheep. That was until the piglets Thelma and Louise moved in. I knew in the back of my mind that this meant that the sheep had no shelter if the weather turned bad, but no worries. It was still summer and we had loads of time to come up with something. But almost like hitting a switch, it all turned. The temperature dropped and the leaves turned yellow. Time was up. We had to act now. We needed to build a new shed, and that fast. But I did not have much building materials. Nowadays that is quite expensive. So we needed an alternative. During the fall in Norway it rains a lot, especially on the west side where we live. So we need to put on some watertight clothes. That also goes for you guys. To keep the cost down and to keep it simple, we decided to make a frame from birch logs. There is a forest close to the building site and the trees there are quite straight, and so hopefully that could work. Now this would not be any kind of millimeter precision, but as long as the sheep stay dry, I don't really think they will mind. So it's early morning and the weather today is looking a bit better than yesterday, although this is not going to last. Already this afternoon they have forecasted more rain. The building so far looks more like a primitive football goal than an actual building, so we just need to carry on. At this time the structure was nearly done and I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. This would be a fast build. Before I started to lay the roof panels, I studied the frame and my heart sank. This was not strong enough. The roof would need to handle the weight of a lot of snow, and this would not. I needed to strengthen the frame, and so it was back to the forest to cut some more timber. As always, the build took a lot longer than I had anticipated. I also got some really bad news when I watched the forecast for the next days. A huge storm was on its way over the North Sea, and so I had to pick up the pace to get the shed ready for the sheep. I exchanged the handsaw for a chainsaw. This was a lot quicker, but would it be quick enough? Then the storm hit land. I tried to carry on, but the weather became so bad that I had to stop. This was a low point. I had not made it in time, and so the sheep had to take shelter in the forest to avoid the worst of the storm. As the day went on, it just got worse and worse. The normally tranquil and calm river that flows at the property line of our farm could not take any more water, and so it started to flood our driveway and our fields. My neighbor's field had turned into a lake and our driveway had become a river. In the evening we could finally see some light in the horizon, and I hoped that the worst was over. I was determined to give our sheep the shelter they needed, and so I went back out. I would work as long as I had enough light, and I'm really glad I did. The sky that day was truly beautiful. I was once again reminded about the fact that nature can be both brutal and unbelievably beautiful. As much as we think we are in control, we are not. The only thing we can do is hold on and enjoy the ride. As if to state the point that we are not in control, nature once again decided to turn the table the next day. We woke up to a beautiful blue sky, but it was cold, really cold. During the night everything had frozen and was covered in ice. I took a small break from the building to help out some other animals on the farm, the small flying kind. We loved the sound of bird songs on our farm, and so we wanted to help them through the cold period. It was time to fill up the bird feeder. There was only one problem. It had not survived the winter. Luckily, we had bought a new one. After getting used to building during heavy rain showers and high winds, this kind of weather was a nice change. I love these clear plastic roof panels as they let so much light through. It also causes a greenhouse effect, as it traps some of the heat from the sun. It's really satisfying to lay the roof panels. The work we have done up to this point don't help out us or the sheep, but now for every panel I lay down, there are a growing area of shelter where they could avoid the rain. And as long as I'm building, I can also use it to keep the tools dry if the weather should change again. One of the things that I truly enjoy by having a farm is to take a break after heavy physical labor. When you rest a tired body in nature, the calm atmosphere from the animals around you, the sound of the nature and the smell of plants seeps into your mind and truly relax body and mind as one. The roof is finally complete, and so it's time to think about some walls. My sheep are of an old Norwegian breed, and so they are heavily insulated. They don't need a lot to stay warm. Therefore, it was also not my plan to build walls all the way up to the roof. My plan is to have low walls that will provide shelter from the worst of the wind and snow during the winter. When we were cleaning out the debris of our collapsed barn, I found some beautiful old metal roof sheets that I was planning to use. These will give the shed the rustic look that we are going for, and on the same time I always feel good about turning something that would normally become waste into something useful again. So when it comes to the walls, I'm thinking about using some of these reclaimed metal sheets from the barn. So at least some of these are in an okay condition. So I think that they will at least last a few years. Now the last panel we found is not exactly great looking, it's full of holes, but it will provide some shelter, and I will keep this until I can find something better. It also have a really cool looking logo, which I've never seen before, so that's also one of the reasons I chose to put it on there. So here we are in our new shelter, and that's a really good thing because it's actually a new storm on its way today, and the weather right now is awful. But in here we are nice and warm and dry, so it's working. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you want to see another of our video, take a look at this one next, and I'll be seeing you there. Bye for now.